Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Thursday, September 18th, 2025. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today are Bishop Robert Griffin, he's my husband, you know, Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world.
In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We are producing Pride Fed Diversity Pride and Pride Fort Lauderdale.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Queer God Squad discusses the work of queer performance and religion scholar Anne Pellegrini. Anne Pellegrini is a prominent scholar whose work significantly bridges the fields of queer theory, performance studies, and religion. Her scholarship often explores the complex intersections of embodiment, identity, and belief, challenging conventional understandings of these concepts. Pellegrini's influential book, Performance Anxieties, Staging Psychoanalysis, Staging Race, delves into how public performances, both theatrical and everyday, shape racial and sexual identities, revealing the anxieties inherent in these processes. Beyond performance, Pellegrini critically examines the role of religion in shaping queer lives and vice versa. In Love the Sin, Sexual Regulation and the Limits of Religious Tolerance, co-authored with Janet R. Jakobsen, she interrogates the ways religious discourse impacts LGBTQ+ rights and experiences, advocating for a more inclusive understanding of faith and sexuality. Her work consistently pushes boundaries, inviting readers to reconsider normative frameworks and embrace the fluidity and complexity of human experience. Pellegrini's contributions offer vital insights into how identity is performed, regulated, and reimagined within cultural and religious landscapes. Pellegrini is on the faculty of New York University. This was a really cool story. I really liked learning about her. And it got me to thinking, she's right on. I mean, how do we perform? We really perform in our everyday life. Think about in the past. How did we possibly perform before coming out? Mm-hmm. How do we perform in church? How do we perform based on what we believe the expectations are of other people? How we perform in public and what we think others expect of us. Really interesting. It makes me want to buy her books now just to see how all of this integrates.
Love the Sin was the first book of hers I ever read, and so it was for my introduction to her. Although she's part of the academic community in New York when I was in graduate school there too, and she's still there. But she is, she seems to be influenced by Judith Butler, I would think. Judith Butler's performativity, where the theory that a lot of our gender expression is performative. We've learned to behave in certain ways, that gender expression isn't necessarily innate. It's something we've learned and perform. And even like celebrities, like by the end of his career, John Wayne is performing John Wayne. Like he's become sort of a caricature and he's living into his character. Mae West, like whenever you see her, the last 20 years of her life, she's performing Mae West. And so this performance theory is, it seems almost obvious to me that now some things are innate, you know, like some gay people have mannerisms that they seem to be born with. And yet, also, once you realize that those are tells, that those are that those are sort of clues to something about you, you can either enhance them as a way of sort of embracing your, or try to hide them to try to perform, you know, more manly, more feminine, more, you know, whatever. So much of how we present is performative. We don't even realize it.
Yeah.
But it's, and certainly in church. people who, amen, oh, hallelujah, they don't do that in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Why are they doing it only in church or whatever? Or the preachers, their preacher voice, oh, no, they don't talk to anyone else that way.
Yeah.
Right? And so there is this, or people who, you know, sometimes even lectors, and suddenly, you know, they have a script in front of them, suddenly they're a Shakespearean actor. And that's not how they, so much of our life is performative. It's not a criticism. It's just true. I mean, even how you talk, you probably sound a lot like a formative influence in your childhood. An auntie, a grandma, a parent, a sibling, certainly your neighbors. You sound like other people. Why is that? Because you learned to sort of mimic and perform that version of a person. And then if you went into like some careers where elocution was a big deal, they might have beat that out of you. And so you perform your speech differently now or whatever. I mean, it's become sort of natural because it's been there so long, but you learned it.
Yeah.
And you performed it. You performed it so much that it became natural. It seems natural, but it was performance. So we do perform religion. We do perform gender. We perform politics. We perform faith. So yes, and she was able to bring these multi-disciplinary studies together. I think is brilliant, and I love transdisciplinarity. And so she's brought them all together to make sense of how we interact in the world. I think she's genius.
And it is a whole lot of situational awareness. We're not going to go into the supermarket and start screaming hallelujah, hallelujah, unless we want to be arrested, and we know that. So we wear masks, and a lot of
standing
times,
at the pharmacy section, it might make sense. They're like, okay, he's trying to get help.
He's getting his
He's
stuff.
trying. This is going to last forever.
But we sometimes don't even realize that we are wearing masks, that we are doing something different from what we would maybe want to be. It's funny, you were talking about mannerisms and how they reflect on who you are. I remember growing up, and I didn't know that I had effeminate mannerisms until the kids in the playground started screaming, "Hey, look at that faggot!" So then you start understanding that the motions that you're making may not be totally acceptable to all of society. So for me, I toned them down, but I am who I am. So it comes out in many different ways. We know who we are, and sometimes we just need permission to be more of who we are.
And I think, on the note of performing, I think I agree with Holly. We have been performers all of our lives. But I think when you get into Anne's work, it also helps us to understand that there is a connection to it all as well. That you realize that this is what this performance may connect to, or what this performance may and that these are just situations in our lives that we have lived through, and that our entire life has been a play or an act, and we function in different roles as these things happen. But the important thing is to know how to connect with who we are, with our authentic self. And because it's the authentic self, I think, that shines brightly when we are performing, and that's what people tap into. Because when we can be who we are, then it's easy to say, oh, this is the role I'm performing, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. And we just become better performers when we know what we know about ourselves.
Right.
That's the secret, isn't it? To perform your truth.
I like that.
The definition of performance. I mean, I had to take performance studies and ritual theory and all that in seminary as part of our worship. And the definition of performance is it's the showing of a doing. Performance is a showing of a doing. And so like in a job interview, you're performing your best self, but you don't want to be false. You want to sell what's true about you, so what you can do, what you think you can grow into, what you think you'll be really good at, because otherwise, if they buy the line, then you can't do it. You're out because you're like, we thought you were going to be better than this. But you want to perform at your best to get noticed, but you also want to perform the truth. And you can the best actors, their critics always say, oh, it just felt so true. Well, that's not their name, that's not their backstory, that's not their life, they don't live in that house, but still, they are true to the character, they're true to the playwright's intentions, they're true to how this happens in life. So performance doesn't mean false, it's the showing of a doing, and what you can show is the doing, the living of truth. And so so gender may be performative, but what you're performing can be your real truth. And that's what's so liberating. That's why people say that drag doesn't change who you are, it reveals who you are, because it's helping you perform your truth.
Nice.
And that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, I want to invite you to check out our performing arts series. Yes, the season is up on us. Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts has a great acts lined up for the 2025 and 2026 season. Here is a taste of what's coming up.
Golden Ghouls. Picture it. Halloween 2025 will be on our stage one night only, October 25th.
Then on November 7th, we will welcome back Miss Coco Peru and Fuck This Shit. If this show is like her other tours de force, there will be storytelling, laughs, singing, and a moral to tie up the evening. Or maybe this one is entirely different. You'll have to come to the show to know for sure. But you already know it's going to be one of the best nights of comedy and drag artistry you will have enjoyed all year.
December 7th brings Matthew Darren's annual Holiday Fantasia, always amazing, and this year it will again be co-hosted by Varla Jean Merman.
And in 2026, there are already some great shows lined up, such as selections from Pearly, a musical based on the play Pearly Victorious by Ozzie Davis on February the 7th. And for more information about these shows and others, and to secure your tickets, go to sunshinecathedral.org/arts.
Please like and share this episode on your social media and look for Sunshine Cathedral on Facebook or Instagram.
You can also like our individual pages on Facebook. Remember to visit sunshinecathedral.org frequently. There you will find Bishop Talk, where Bishop Durrell and I interview queer religious leaders, activists, and scholars.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we're all in this together. Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad.